There is a truth about attraction that most men never fully grasp. It is not logical. It does not follow a neat, predictable formula. Attraction is not something a woman chooses or decides upon after weighing the pros and cons like she might evaluate a job offer or a major purchase. It is something she feels. It is visceral. It is instinctive. And the difference between the man she forgets 5 minutes after meeting him and the man she finds herself daydreaming about at odd hours is rarely about his looks, rarely about his bank account, and often not even about his surface-level confidence. It is about his words. The right words, spoken at the right time with the right energy, can slip into a woman's mind, crawl under her skin, and stay there on repeat, playing over and over like a melody she cannot shake. Most men throw out generic, forgettable compliments. You're beautiful. You have pretty eyes. You have a great smile. Nice words, certainly. Memorable? Not even close. A woman has heard those phrases so many times they have lost all meaning. They wash over her like background noise. But if a man says the right thing in the right way, she will not just hear it. She will feel it deep in her chest. She will feel it in her body. And once a woman starts feeling something for a man, that is when he becomes truly irresistible. She does not choose to be drawn to him. She simply is. That is the power of the right words. There are 3 specific compliments, 3 carefully crafted phrases that are so rare and so psychologically potent that they can make a woman think about a man long after he has left the room. These are not pickup lines. They are not manipulative tricks. They are expressions of a deeply grounded, emotionally intelligent mindset that most men simply do not possess. The first of these phrases is deceptively simple but devastatingly effective. I don't need you, but I want you. There is something about this combination of words that hits differently than any generic compliment ever could. It is not just words. It is a declaration of inner strength. Most men get attraction completely backward. They believe that in order to win a woman over, they need to shower her with attention, convince her of their worth, and prove that they would do absolutely anything to have her. That is where they fail. Nothing turns a woman off faster than neediness. It reeks of desperation. It tells her that a man sees her as some magical prize and himself as someone who needs to win her approval just to feel worthy. But women do not want to feel like they are doing a man a favor by being with him. They want to feel chosen by a man who already has options, a man who does not need them to complete him, but who genuinely desires them. That is why the phrase, "I don't need you, but I want you," is so powerful. It shifts the entire dynamic. It tells her, quietly and confidently, "You are not the center of my world. I can walk away at any time. I choose you because I see something special in you, not because I need to fill some void in my life." And that energy, that quiet, grounded certainty, is the exact energy that makes a woman obsessed. There is a deep psychological reason why women find emotional detachment so attractive. It is rooted in what psychologists call the law of scarcity. The principle is simple. People value what is rare, uncertain, or difficult to attain. Think about it. If a man is always available, always texting first, always eager to please, what happens? He becomes predictable, expected, boring. He offers nothing to discover, nothing to pursue. But if a man is confident, focused on his own life, and not easily impressed, he becomes a challenge. And women are drawn to challenges instinctively. It is not a conscious decision. It is a primal response. By saying, "I don't need you, but I want you," a man is sending a subconscious message. I am a man who has standards. I am not desperate for love. I do not chase. I attract. And that energy is magnetic. It draws her in because it is so different from the desperate, approval-seeking behavior she encounters from most men. It signals that he is complete on his own, that his happiness does not depend on her, and that if she wants to be part of his life, she needs to bring something valuable to the table. That is a powerful position to hold. But here is where many men get it dangerously wrong. This is not about acting like a man is too cool for her. It is not about being rude, dismissive, or emotionally unavailable. There is a world of difference between genuine confidence and arrogant posturing. Confidence is knowing one's own worth without needing to prove it. Arrogance is desperately trying to force others to recognize it. If a man tells a woman, "I don't need you, but I want you," with an arrogant smirk or a dismissive tone, she will see right through it. She will know he is just putting on an act, trying to manipulate her emotions. But if he says it with genuine, calm confidence, if his actions back it up, if his life is already full of purpose, passion, and personal fulfillment, she will feel the truth of it. She will sense that he is not trying to impress her. He is simply stating a fact. And that feeling, that sense of encountering a man who is truly grounded, is what makes her unable to resist him. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once observed that we should not let our fears stop us from doing what is right. And the right thing here is to speak the truth of one's own value without apology. A man who can say, "I don't need you, but I want you," and mean it is a man who has conquered his fear of rejection. He has mastered himself. The key to making this phrase work is timing and tone. A man does not just blurt it out randomly. He uses it in moments where she is trying to gauge where he stands. For example, if she asks, "Do you really like me?" Instead of answering with an immediate and desperate yes, he might say, "I don't need you, but I want you." If she asks, "What do you even see in me?" Instead of listing reasons like a man trying to convince her of his sincerity, he might say, "I don't need you, but I want you." If she starts playing hard to get, teasing him, testing him, this phrase instantly resets the power dynamic. It lets her know he is not afraid to walk away. He does not chase. He does not beg. And that is the exact moment she starts chasing him. The philosopher Epictetus taught that it is not what happens to us, but how we react to it that matters. When a man faces a woman's testing behavior and reacts with grounded confidence rather than desperation, he demonstrates mastery over his own emotions. And that mastery is deeply attractive. The second powerful phrase is this: "I bet most guys don't make you feel like this." Words have power, but not all words are created equal. Some words get ignored, some get a polite response and are immediately forgotten. And then there are words that sink deep into the mind, words that make a woman think about a man long after he is gone. This phrase belongs to that rare category. It is not a compliment. It is not a question. It is something far more powerful. It is a suggestion. When a man says, "I bet most guys don't make you feel like this," he is planting a thought in her mind, one that she cannot help but explore, because now she is wondering, wait, do I feel different around him? What exactly is he doing that other men do not? Why does this moment suddenly feel more intense than my usual interactions? And once she starts thinking about it, she starts feeling it even more. That is the power of suggestion. He is not telling her how to feel. He is making her realize, on her own, that she feels something unique with him. And that realization is irresistible. Women do not just fall for words. They fall for the way words make them feel. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote that the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When a man plants the thought that she feels something different with him, he is dyeing her soul with that color. And once she believes she feels something different, she is hooked. This phrase triggers something called the contrast effect, a psychological principle that makes people pay more attention to something when it is compared to something else. When a man says, "I bet most guys don't make you feel like this," he is creating an instant comparison in her mind. She starts thinking back to her past experiences, all the dates, the conversations, the flirty moments. And now she is subconsciously placing him above them all. Because if he were not different, if he were not making her feel something rare, why would he even say that? The contrast effect works because the human mind naturally evaluates things in relation to other things. It is how we make sense of the world. By setting himself apart from every other man she has encountered, he is elevating his own value in her eyes without bragging, without listing his achievements, without trying to convince her of anything. He is simply letting her make the comparison herself. And when she does, she realizes he stands out. Attraction is not just about looks, it is about emotional investment. A woman can find a man physically attractive, but if he does not make her feel something, he is forgettable. This phrase forces her to engage emotionally because once she starts thinking about how he makes her feel, she is locked in. Now she is analyzing his words, his energy, the chemistry between them. She is feeling the difference instead of just hearing it. And that is the moment she starts wanting more. Most men rely on surface-level compliments. They tell a woman she is pretty, that she smells nice, that she has beautiful eyes. That is why this phrase is so different. It does not focus on her looks. It focuses on her experience with him. And that is what makes it hit hard. But here is the key. A man has to back it up. He cannot just throw this phrase out there and expect magic. He has to actually create a moment where she feels different around him. This means keeping eye contact just a second longer than normal. It means slowing down the conversation so it feels deeper, more intense. It means saying this phrase at a moment where she is already feeling a spark. If a man does this right, she will not just hear his words. She will feel them. And that feeling will keep her coming back for more. The timing of this phrase is critical. Drop it too early and it feels forced. Say it in the wrong moment and it loses its power. Here is when to use it. After a deep conversation, when she is opening up to him, sharing personal thoughts or laughing more than usual, that is the perfect time. During a moment of chemistry, when he can feel the energy between them shifting, maybe there is some flirting. Maybe she is looking at him differently. This phrase seals the deal. Right before he leaves, saying this phrase before ending a conversation or parting ways creates a lingering effect. She will be thinking about it all night. The best part is that it does not just make her think, it makes her feel. And at the end of the day, that is what makes a woman chase a man. The philosopher Musonius Rufus, a Stoic teacher who profoundly influenced Epictetus, wrote that we should not use our words to command, but to persuade and to teach. This phrase is persuasion at its finest. It persuades her to see him as different, not through argument, but through suggestion. The third and perhaps most potent phrase is this: I know your trouble, but I like it. There is a fine line between attraction and obsession, and this phrase pushes a woman right into obsession. Why? Because it plays on one of the deepest psychological drives inside a woman's mind, the desire to be wanted but not easily controlled. Most men make the mistake of being too agreeable. They nod. They compliment. They try to prove they are safe and nice. But the problem is that women do not want safe in the way most men think. They do not want predictable. They want a man who sees their wild side and embraces it. They want a man who can handle their complexity without flinching. That is exactly what this phrase does. When a man says, I know your trouble, but I like it, he is doing something incredibly powerful. He is acknowledging that she is a challenge. He is suggesting that she has a side most men cannot handle. He is telling her that he sees through her innocent act and he is still intrigued. This taps into her ego and her curiosity at the same time. Now she is wondering, does he really think I am trouble? What does he see in me that other men do not? Why is he so confident about handling me? And once a woman starts asking these questions, she is already hooked. The philosopher Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, taught that we should live in agreement with nature. And it is human nature to be drawn to what is mysterious, what is challenging, what cannot be easily figured out. By positioning himself as a man who sees her complexity and is not intimidated by it, he becomes mysterious to her. He becomes a puzzle she wants to solve. This phrase works because it flips the usual power dynamic. Most men try to convince a woman to like them. They present themselves as worthy candidates for her approval. But this phrase subtly makes her the one proving herself to him. Instead of chasing her approval, he is making her wonder if she can handle him. Instead of playing it safe, he is creating a sense of danger and excitement. Instead of being just another predictable guy, he is now the man she wants to impress. It is flirtation, challenge, and intrigue all wrapped into one sentence. There is a psychological principle at play here called reactance theory. It states that when people feel like they are being categorized or limited in some way, they instinctively push back. By calling her trouble, a man is subtly challenging her identity. Now she has to prove herself to him. She will start teasing him back. She will start showing him different sides of her personality. She will start working for his attention instead of just receiving it. And that shift, that subtle reversal of who is pursuing whom, is what makes a woman obsess. The key to making this work is playfulness. A man cannot say it too seriously, or it will sound accusatory. He cannot say it too casually, or it will have no impact. He has to say it like he is in on a secret, like he knows something about her that even she has not fully admitted. Here is how to deliver it with maximum effect. Lock eyes with her. Hold that tension for just a second longer than normal. Say it with a slight smirk. Keep it subtle, like he is letting her in on a mystery. Pause after, "I know your trouble." Let her brain fill in the blanks before he adds, "But I like it." Done right, this phrase will send a spark down her spine. She will laugh. She will playfully deny it. She will lean in closer without realizing it. And that is when a man knows he has got her. This is not a phrase to drop in a dry, formal conversation. It is a heat generator, something to use when the energy is already rising. Here is when to use it. If she teases him, if she jokingly calls him cocky or challenges him in some way, this phrase flips the script perfectly. If she is acting playful, laughing, giving him those knowing looks, or testing him, this phrase raises the stakes. If he feels the chemistry building, when the conversation is getting flirty and fun, dropping this line cranks up the tension instantly. The moment he says it, she will not just see him as another guy. She will see him as the one who can actually handle her. And that is a turn-on she will not be able to resist. The Stoic philosopher Cleanthes, who succeeded Zeno, wrote that the fates guide the willing, but drag the unwilling. A man who is willing to step into this kind of playful, confident communication is guided toward deeper connection. A man who is unwilling, who clings to safe, boring compliments, is dragged into forgettable mediocrity. These three phrases are not magic spells. They are expressions of a mindset that is grounded, confident, and emotionally intelligent. A man who can say, "I don't need you, but I want you," has mastered his own neediness. A man who can say, "I bet most guys don't make you feel like this," has mastered the art of emotional suggestion. A man who can say, "I know your trouble, but I like it," has mastered the dance of playful challenge. Together, they form a powerful toolkit for building attraction. But the most important thing to remember is that these words must be backed up by genuine presence. They must be spoken from a place of truth. If a man is still needy inside, the words will ring hollow. If he is still seeking validation, she will sense it. If he is still afraid of rejection, she will feel it. The Stoic philosopher Heracles wrote that we should approach others as we would approach ourselves, with patience and understanding. When a man applies that same patience and understanding to himself, when he stops chasing approval and starts owning his own worth, these words become natural extensions of who he is. They are not techniques. They are reflections of a man who has done the inner work. Women are deeply intuitive. They can sense when a man is performing versus when he is being authentic. The words themselves are powerful, but the energy behind them is what truly matters. A man who uses these phrases with genuine confidence, who speaks them with warmth rather than coldness, who delivers them with a slight smile rather than a smirk, will find that they land with devastating effectiveness. She will not just hear them, she will feel them. And once she feels them, she will not be able to forget him. Attraction is not logical. It is not something a woman chooses. It is something she feels. And the man who understands how to speak to that feeling, who knows how to plant thoughts that linger and emotions that deepen, becomes the man she fantasizes about. He becomes the man she cannot stop thinking about. He becomes the man she chases. Use these words wisely. Deliver them with confidence. And watch as the dynamic shifts in your favor. The power has always been within you. It is simply a matter of knowing how to express it. If this video helped you in one way or another, please consider supporting the channel using the Super Thanks feature. Your support means a lot, and it helps us keep creating better content specially for you. Every contribution goes directly into improving the quality of these videos and bringing you more of the Stoic wisdom and psychological insights that you have come to expect. Thank you for being part of this journey. Stay grounded, stay present, and I will see you right here in the next one.